Welcome to NetMyths, where we explore urban legends and unsolved mysteries. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on chilling stories and eerie tales every week. The story of Tamara Samsonova, known as Granny Ripper. The story of Tamara Samsonova, known as Granny Ripper, is one of the most chilling serial murder cases in modern Russian history. Tamara's past and life. Tamara Samsonova was born in 1947 in Uzur, Siberia. After graduating from Moscow State University of Linguistics, she moved to Saint Petersburg, where she married Alexei Samsonov in 1971. The couple had no children and lived in a small apartment on Dimitrov Street. Tamara worked at the Grand Hotel Europe and an international travel company specializing in welcoming foreign guests. She was a sharp businesswoman, and in addition to her main job, she also sold clothing and household goods, profiting from scarce items during the Soviet era. After her husband mysteriously disappeared in 2000, Tamara lived alone and began to feel lonely. She started meeting and befriending her neighbors and others who moved in with her. The first murder and concealed crimes. In 2001, feeling lonely and in need of someone to talk to, Tamara began renting out the spare room in her apartment. This not only helped her earn extra income but also filled the void in her life. The first tenant was Vladimir, a middle-aged man. Although Tamara initially appeared friendly, conflicts between them began to arise as Vladimir could no longer tolerate her personality. The arguments became frequent, and tensions grew. After a particularly heated argument, Vladimir suddenly disappeared without a trace. Neighbors assumed he had simply moved out due to disagreements with Tamara, and no one suspected anything about his disappearance. However, the truth was that Vladimir had been killed by Tamara in a fit of rage. She then dismembered his body and hid the body parts in black plastic bags. These bags were disposed of in various locations around Saint Petersburg, carefully concealing the crime. The severed body parts were hidden so well that no one discovered them for a long time. After the murder of Vladimir, Tamara continued to look for new tenants to fill the vacant room. One of the next tenants was Sergei Potanin, a man from northern Russia. Similar to Vladimir, Sergei and Tamara began to have conflicts. The arguments between them escalated, and eventually, Sergei disappeared mysteriously. When he could not be contacted, neighbors assumed he had simply moved out without saying goodbye. However, once again, Tamara had acted the same way as in the case of Vladimir, leading to suspicions about the disappearances of her tenants. The murder of Valentina. In April 2015, Tamara met 79-year-old Valentina Nikolaevna Ulanova, a woman living alone. Feeling lonely and wanting a companion, Tamara was introduced to live temporarily in Valentina's apartment, who had a similar situation. After both agreed, Tamara moved in with Valentina and began helping her with household chores. Initially, everything went smoothly. Tamara cooked and helped Valentina clean, while Valentina shared stories about her life. However, after a short period, conflicts between the two began to arise. Tamara hated doing household chores and frequently complained about cleaning. In contrast, Valentina was very particular about cleanliness and insisted that Tamara do the housework properly. The two elderly women argued repeatedly about this, creating a tense atmosphere in the apartment. This led Valentina to ask Tamara to move out, but Tamara refused, making their relationship even worse. In late July 2015, in a fit of rage, Tamara decided to act against Valentina. She used phenazepam sleeping pills to poison her, rendering Valentina unable to resist. Once Valentina fell unconscious, Tamara proceeded to kill her and dismember her body into several parts. The body parts were cut into pieces and hidden in plastic bags. Tamara took the bags containing the remains outside at night and disposed of them in various locations throughout the city. Although the murder and dismemberment of Valentina were shocking, Tamara remained calm and continued to conceal her crime. Discovery and arrest of Tamara. The case was finally exposed on July 26, 2015, when a couple went for a walk with their dog near the area where Valentina's remains were found. While walking, the dog suddenly barked loudly and refused to move. Oddly, the dog kept returning to an area with bushes, where two green plastic bags were found. The couple curiously opened the bags and were horrified to discover human body parts inside. The horrible smell of the remains made them panic, and they quickly called the police. When the police arrived at the scene, they found Valentina's dismembered body, but it was incomplete. The body parts were missing the head, arms, and lungs. The severed body parts were cut cleanly, indicating that the perpetrator had used a knife and saw to carry out the crime. Forensic experts confirmed that Valentina had died from an overdose of phenazepam, a drug Tamara had used to poison the victim before killing her. These details made it clear to the police that this was not a random murder but one that was premeditated. The police quickly identified the victim and began their investigation. After gathering evidence and following leads, they soon put Tamara under suspicion. When they arrived at her apartment, Tamara admitted to the crime and even reenacted how she dismembered Valentina's body for the police. After collecting sufficient evidence and confirming the body parts were indeed Valentina's through DNA analysis, Tamara was arrested and brought to trial, discovering Tamara as a serial killer. The police began focusing on Tamara Samsonova after discovering the connections between her and the victim, Valentina. When they arrived at Tamara's apartment to investigate, she acted in an unusual manner. Instead of appearing worried or scared about the case, Tamara warmly greeted the police and showed no signs of concern. The police immediately sensed something was off and decided to search her apartment. During the search, they discovered multiple bloodstains scattered throughout the apartment, especially in the kitchen and bathroom areas. There were signs of a murder having taken place here. Additionally, the police found several important pieces of evidence, such as blood-stained cloths, tools with blood on them, and various items used to dismember the victim. With this evidence, the police had enough grounds to suspect that Tamara was the murderer. When arrested and interrogated, Tamara did not deny her crime. She admitted to killing Valentina and dismembering her body into multiple parts. She also confessed to killing 3 other victims, her husband, who had disappeared in 2000, and 2 previous tenants. Notably, in her diary, Tamara had detailed the murders, including the fact that she had eaten the victims, especially their lungs. The police also discovered a book on black magic in her apartment, which contained strange notes about eating human flesh, further adding to the horrifying nature of the case. The story of Tamara eating her victims, particularly their lungs, sent chills down many people's spines and further confirmed her cruelty. Her diary also revealed an obsession with murder and ongoing violent behavior over many years. The trial and legal proceedings. After being arrested, Tamara Samsonova underwent 3 psychiatric evaluations and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Despite admitting to all the crimes she committed, she showed no remorse. In fact, she maintained a cold and indifferent attitude toward her actions, which only increased the fear and shock among those around her. In December 2017, Tamara's trial took place at the Saint Petersburg District Court. During the trial, Tamara confessed to all the murders and dismemberment she had committed. She was sentenced to life imprisonment for the serial murders. However, due to her mental condition, she was transferred to a special educational institution for people with psychological issues, where she would continue mandatory treatment. Tamara became one of Russia's most infamous serial killers and earned the nickname Granny Ripper. Although Tamara was convicted and imprisoned, many people were still haunted by the horrific nature of her actions. The details of the case revealed a person with a twisted and cold personality, showing no empathy toward the victims she had murdered, the developments of the case and unresolved suspicions. Even though Tamara had been arrested and convicted, the police still suspected that she may have been involved in the deaths of other victims. In her diary, there were strange entries about murders she had carried out over many years, including details about eating the victims and hiding their bodies. These details led the police and legal experts to believe that Tamara may have killed even more people, but these murders remain unsolved. One of the biggest mysteries was the disappearance of Tamara's husband in 2000. Although she reported his disappearance to the police, no investigation ever confirmed the cause. Many people believe her husband could have become one of Tamara's victims. The police also suspected that she was involved in the deaths of others in the area, particularly the tenants who had vanished mysteriously. Additionally, there were rumors that Tamara might have eaten her victims. In the black magic book found in her apartment, there were several chapters about eating human flesh and collecting organs as part of bizarre rituals. This fueled suspicions about her sick and perverse behavior. Because of these unresolved aspects, the case remains shrouded in mystery and continues to send chills down people's spines when they think about the horrors she committed. This is the horrifying story of Tamara Samsonova, a woman who appeared innocent but turned out to be a cold-blooded serial killer. Her case shocked the world and left a lasting impact on Russia's criminal history. Thanks for watching today's story on NetMyths. If you love creepy tales like this, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell to discover more haunting urban legends. See you in the next video.